Hey, how's it going? Whether you are new to the sport or a longtime disc golfer, you've probably got a disc or two that you find special. You want to display on your wall or in a place of honor in your house. And the old school method is to just stick a tack on the wall and hang the disc up, and you're good to go. I've had a special project in mind that I've been putting off for over 15 years now, since the San Francisco disc golf course in Golden Gate Park first opened up. And I recently went looking for ways to display discs above and beyond sticking a tack on the wall and hanging them up, and found a bunch of plexiglass cases that will hold a single disc, but I had something more special than that in mind. And I did some searching online and found a couple of posts that referenced shadow boxes and said they're easy to do, but nobody that I could find online had done any how-to. So this is going to be a how-to on how to shadow box, how to put together a shadow box for a disc. I think it's going to be pretty simple. I think it's going to be short. I think it's going to be straightforward, but I appreciate you being here to check it out. The project that I had in mind goes back to the first run of discs we ever did for the San Francisco Disc Golf Club, and that was this pretty stamp here. These nice foils. Thank you, Innova. This is an old school DX rock with the foil. You can't get these anymore. I mean, that goes without saying, but I know you can't get the sfdiscgolf.com stamp anymore because the stamp is right here. When we switched from .com to .org, which was a mistake by yours truly that led to being something good, Innova, Tim Selensky at Innova, sent me the stamp as a memento to hang on to. So I want to display this disc, but I also want to display this bag tag, which I took a ton of flack for when the course first opened for getting this bag tag and then never playing it. But I had this vision of what I wanted to do. So what I want to do is I want to find a way to display these two things and make it look good. So what I did was I went to my local Michael's craft supply store, and I picked up this shadow box, which was $19 brand new, and I picked up some foam core, and I don't have a protractor, and they're all sold out everywhere because the pandemic supply chain seems to have impacted protractors. So I got some string and a pencil, and because foam behaves weirdly, I got two different types of foam glue. We'll see which one works best. Oh, and to cut everything, of course, I have an X-Acto knife. So what I'm going to do is lay this all out and get started, and we'll see how it goes. So the shadow box that you see right there is an 11 by 14 studio decor shadow box. I purchased it and all of the materials used for this project at Michael's. I say that not because I'm affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form, but there's one nearby my house. The staff are helpful and the prices are reasonable, and there's always a discount. So if you don't have a coupon, just look for one on your phone. You'll be able to find it on their website. This shadow box retailed for $34.99. After sales, it was $19.99. And you can see on the felt there that there's a little imperfection. I figured out pretty quickly that the disc was going to cover it, so I wasn't too concerned with it. But if I thought that that imperfection was going to show up, I would just taken it back and exchange it. Now, the disc that I want to display is an original unthrown 1998 SFDGC first stamp ever rock. I didn't want to mess it up in any way, shape, or form, so I pulled another 1998 rock, but this one's been thrown a few times, including my first ace ever back in 1998, out to use as my template and guide. I'm using Elmer's 8 by 10 inch foam boards for this, and actually make that singular. I used a single foam board. I purchased a 5-pack for $7.50. You could get away with just a single foam board, and I tried to get way too cute with making sure that the foam was going to match to the curve of the disc. It was a nice thought. It was totally unnecessary because the disc is realistically only going to touch one place on the foam, period. Though having it be a little bit larger gives us more surface area for the glue to stick to the felt, so that one point of contact with the disc is being supported by many points of contact between the foam and the felt. I also cut out a small square to use for the bag tag down at the bottom there. got them situated visually vertically where I wanted them. And then in terms of horizontal, yes, and there's that glue stain and the disc covers it, so I'm cool with it. I couldn't get it off. I'm going to live with it. In terms of horizontal placement, again, it's an 11 by 14 felt backing, so that measures 5.5 to the center. Whatever and you can use a smaller shadow box if you want to just display a single disc, a larger one if you have more things you want to display in there, or trophies or other stuff you want to add in. The 11 by 14 worked for me for this particular project. And I will say that the glue I used is Aleene's Felt and Foam Tacky Glue. Felt requires a special glue, foam requires a special glue, and Aleene happens to make one that works for both at the same time even, and it was only $2.50. It's pretty tacky, so once you get it settled and pressed down, it's going to not want to move pretty immediately. I held my fingers down for about a minute on each of these to get them in place, and once they were glued, again, 5.5 inches to the center, and then vertical was an eyeball for me. You can be more specific if you want to in terms of getting it exactly where you want it. I let it cure for about an hour. And when I came back, I just wanted to test like, hey, is the disc hanging on there? And look, it's going beyond vertical. So that's good. The disc is holding. And next up was to glue the bag tag on. Again, Aleene's tacky glue worked for metal to foam as well as foam to felt, and I'm sure anything else to felt as well. Once it was all good and visually situated, I realized that I had offset the foam for the disc just a little bit and did a little bit of cutting. And so the good news is if you make a mistake, you can go back and do a few adjustments and get it into a place where it's going to be centered and situated, and it's not going to be the end of it. The felt cleaned up pretty well, and I managed to get the foam cut to a place where the disc hangs in the middle, and it doesn't have to be pretty underneath as long as what's displayed looks pretty. So there's the disc I want displayed. You have to, once you get it mounted, reach around behind it and help get all the little things in place. But hey, there's the finished product. And while it's far from perfect, it looks pretty perfect from afar. And one of the nice things about this as well is that the disc can be swapped out. You see some imperfections there of a little bit of the foam that's on the inside. I took it apart and cleaned it and put it back together again. But the nice thing is you can swap out a different disc if you so choose, if you want to give different discs the seat of honor in your display case, or if you want to do multiple display cases. Whatever it is, it was really straightforward, super easy. Not bad for an old man who decided to do one last project for disc golf, right? Yeah. Not bad. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you being here. Throw straight. Have fun. See you next time.